In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful keyhole bubu kaftan with side drawstrings. So here you can see what I got right here. This dress is actually looking beautiful. It also has a band on the sleeve with side drawstrings and a keyhole neckline. If this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn more. Thank you. I'm making use of 2 yards 12 inches Ankara fabric. So I'm going to open up this Ankara fabric right now. So here is my yardage pattern. This is the length of Ankara fabric. I'm going to place these 2 yards 12 inches yards on fold. As you can see, you are going to place it on the first fold. After that, we are going to pick up the other end of the print and we are going to match it to meet up with the other one. After folding in the fourth fold, we'll begin to draft the pattern right now. So you can see it's on 4 folds. First, you are going to mark out your border line. This is our starting line for this dress. I'm going to place my tape on the starting line. Then we are going to measure the length. So the length of this bubu kaftan is at 41 inches. The length is 41 inches. Now we are going to take 3.5 inches neck width, 1 inch neck depth for the back, 3.5 by 1 inch for the back neckline. For the front neckline, we are going to measure 4 inches for the depth. 3.5 is the width of this neckline, and we are going to connect the 4 inches to the 3.5. Then this dress has a keyhole. We are going to take the measurement of that keyhole. From the neckline, I measure 4 inches again for the keyhole opening. Next, we are going to take the measurement of the shoulder divide by 2. I'll mark my shoulder divide by 2 and my sleeve length is 11 inches. My sleeve is marked at 11 inches. Now I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder drop. I'll connect it to the 3.5 inches neck depth. Then we are going to take the sleeve opening. My sleeve opening is at 12 inches, including the seam allowance. So I marked my sleeve opening at 12 inches, including the seam allowance. Then we are going to rule a straight line, then go in a little bit. Next, we are going to take the hip circumference. You are using the highest part of your body. My own is hip. Hip divided by 4, I added 4 inches to it. That is what I marked on that sleeve line. So the total of what I got from there, I will mark it on the hem line so as to connect a straight line to meet up with the armhole. Now we are going to mark a little kimono at that point. So you are going to use the largest part of your body for the circumference. Now for the pocket, I came down by 2 inches from my waist and I marked my pocket opening at 7 inches. Then connect my pocket. The opening of my pocket is 7 inches. Please take note. So you can see how I connected my pocket right now. So that is my pocket and we are done with this drafting. Like I said, it's beginners friendly and easy to draft. So the next we will do is to add 1/2 inch seam allowance on the shoulder line. We are going to add 1/2 inch seam allowance on the shoulder line. So here I'm adding the 1/2 inch seam allowance and I'm going to rule my seam allowance before we cut. So the drafting is ready. Remember we drafted front and back piece right here. So we'll go ahead to cut it. Here you can see I'm cutting through the shoulder line and I'm going to cut only the back neckline. So I will proceed to cut through the pocket as you can see right here. And then I'm going to take this all the way into the seam line once again, all the way to the hem line. So I'm cutting the last line right now, which is the 41 inches length that we took as our length. Next is to separate the front and the back. So I'll quickly take off the one inside it as the back piece, then we'll cut the front neckline. So here I'm going to cut out the front neckline. I'm going to cut the front neckline right now, and I'm going to open up the 4 inches keyhole depth. So that is all for the cutting. Next we are going to place the facing. So here you can see how I'm placing my facing. So I'll just make sure the facing comes right down the keyhole and also goes down to the shoulder seam line at least by 2 or 3 inches. So I'm securing it with my pin. Next is to trace out the facing on the neckline. So that is what I'm doing right here. So I just trace it out and also open up the facing to the point of that keyhole. So that is it, and the facing for the front is ready. We are going to take off the facing and place it right side to right side. So if you feel like reshaping your facing, if you don't want it squared like this, you can give it a shape. Okay, so I'll secure with my pins on the neckline. I'll secure with my pins right now, and I'll stitch 1/2 inch into the facing and go down like that. After I'm done, I'm going to make a straight notch on that keyhole. Please don't forget to do that to ease that part. And for the neckline, I made notches. So next I'm going to flip all my seams to the facing, top stitch to the extent I can. On the keyhole side, I'll also top stitch to the extent I can. Next is to turn the neckline. So you can see the method at which I'm using to turn that squared edge, just to get a very sharp edge. So I will turn it that way by folding on the seam lines, and this is what I got. So you can go ahead to give it a good press the way it is right here. So the neckline is quite very much ready right now. So I want to show you how to remove this sticker on this dress. You use your hot iron. If you have a sticker on an Ankara fabric, use a hot iron and you remove it. Okay, I just want to share that tips with you. So next I'm going to iron open the part that I joined to make up for my facing. So here is my facing. I'm going to give it a very good press to make sure it relaxes nice and clean. So after that we are going to sew the back facing right away. So here I bring back the back dress. I'm going to repeat the same thing I did for the facing for the front. So I'll just place my fabric on fold and make sure the folded part on the back meets with the folded part of the facing, and arrange them very well. Okay, and then trim them off. Here you can see me trimming it off, as you can see. So you can decide to also reshape facing. So here I'm reshaping my facing, making sure that the facing width is the same for the back and for the front. Also lay the facing right side to right side and stitch at 1/2 inch. So after stitching, I'm going to make notches as I did for the front, flip all my seams to the facing and top stitch, and finally give it a good press. So this is what we got after we are done sewing the back facing. So the next thing we are going to do is to hem the facing or weave the facing. That is if you want to do that, but for tutorial purpose I'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to place the front piece and the back piece neckline right side to right side. So I want to show you how I usually like to stitch my neckline. I'm going to put the front and use the facing for either the back to wrap it up. So I have already stitched 1/2 inch, as you see me do right there on the neckline. So you can see the neckline is clean and neat. I'll also give it a good press. Now coming over to the sleeve, we are going to attach a band to the sleeve. So make sure you open up the seams. Okay, you can give it a good press, open up the seams. So my band width is 2.5 inches on fold, 2.5 inches on fold. Okay, and the length is the length of my sleeve. So I'll go and stitch 1/2 inch to it now. So after stitching 1/2 inch to my sleeve, I've attached the band. Next, we are going to first hem the down part. Before closing up, make sure you hem the down part because of the drawstring, okay? So after that, we can now go ahead and stitch the sides. So I secure with my pins accordingly. So make sure you pin before you stitch the sides, and make sure you hem the down part too. So we are going to stitch all the way down. So after hemming the down part and stitching the sides, I am going to place notches on the armhole side, on the pocket up and the pocket down. You can see that to ease the pocket and to also serve as a drawstring. So for the notch on the down, that is the drawstring we are going to make use of right now. Before sewing the ropes, you can see I hemmed the down part of my dress before stitching down, okay? So we'll go over to the ironing table. As you can see right here, I'm going to fold in half an inch. After folding half an inch, I'm going to insert my drawstring the way you see it right here. I'll go ahead and insert it into the casing, both of them. So we'll go to the machine. I'll show you how to stitch on it. So right here you can see me stitching. So I brought out the rope on top of that under the pocket notch which we are sewing. So I keep inserting the rope as you see me do. So when you are stitching, please don't stitch on the rope, so you'll be able to draw that part. So I'm going to stitch just beside it as you see right here. So it's going to come out like this. So you can see why I asked you to hem the down part of this dress first, okay, before joining the sides and stitching the rope, so you'll be able to draw the drawstring. So I'll come over to the other side. You can see I secured with my pin the two ropes inserted. So I'm going to top stitch on it now on the other side. Then I'm going to turn my presser foot and continue stitching beside the drawstring. So I believe this method of sewing drawstring is easier and better and beginners friendly. That is how we come to the end of this tutorial. So I believe this class was helpful to you. You can see the drawstrings. I'm trying to tie them on the right and on the left. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive more videos like this. Thanks for coming and thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.